Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q2 FY22 earnings conference call of BLS International Services Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Parth Hemani from Pareto Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Stanford. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Parth Hemani from Pareto Capital. We represent Investor Relations for BLS International. On behalf of the company, I welcome you all to a Q2 FY22 earnings conference call. I have with me from the management, Mr. Nikhil Gupta, Managing Director, Mr. Shikhar Agrawal, Joint Managing Director, and Mr. Amit Sudhakar, Chief Financial Officer of the company. We will have brief opening remarks from the management, followed by the Q&A session. Please note that certain statements made during this call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to certain risks and uncertainties that could cause our actual results or projections to differ materially from those statements. BLS International will not be in any way responsible for any action taken based on such statements and undertakes no obligation to publicly update these forward-looking statements to reflect subsequent events or circumstances. I would now hand over the call to Mr. Shikhar Agrawal for his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to our earnings conference call of Q2 FY22. I hope all of you and your families are keeping well and safe. Further to our last call, I'm glad to share that we are starting to see the COVID situation improve. With aggressive vaccination drive in all major countries, the travel business has started showing traction, and major destinations like US, Europe, UK, Canada, etc. have started to open up. All these markets are opening up in phased manner with specified COVID norms. Recently, India administered 100 crore vaccine doses, which is a significant milestone in the fight against COVID-19. In general, the mood for travel is upbeat, and we hope the immunization program will speed up the travel momentum. As a company, we are at the cusp of major revival with rebound in our visa and consular business. Our banking correspondent and e-governance business are the biggest beneficiary of financial inclusion and digitization. Our offices and centers have also started to reopen in a phased manner, and we are witnessing significant pickup in visa applications. There have been certain hiccups in terms of lower availability of staff in the embassy offices, but now that is also improving. Visa business have been ramping up month on month from the mid of June 2021 onwards. During the quarter, we were able to win new contracts in the visa and consular business, including the Italian visa processing services in Russia, the contract with the Republic of Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs to provide e-passport renewal services, initially starting with Italy, Qatar and Malaysia, the immigration service business for Canada. We also signed up a contract with the Royal Embassy of Thailand for visa services in India. We also won a contract for the National Identity Management Canadian citizens living in London, UK, to enroll them into National Identity Database. With respect to the national banking correspondent business, StarFin, we impaneled ourselves with the Bank of Baroda in addition to winning a new license with the State Bank of India for BLS International. We have also further expanded our e-governance business. We have partnered with National Health Authority as a service provider to process Ayushman Bharat cards across India, along with another project with UPI TCL to undertake the verification, registration and e-card printing services across India. With this partnership, BLS is now an official PMJ service agent. Our e-governance projects in UP and Rajasthan have also commenced recently. We are confident of seeing significant scale in these coming months. During the quarter, we reported a revenue of over 190 crores, largely contributed by our consulars business and Punjab Citizen Services, along with the StarFin business, both of which are operating at a pre-COVID level. I'm glad to share that we reported significant profit growth at the operating level, largely on the back of our cost rationalization measures. What keeps us hopeful and confident even in these trying times is the investment we have paid in putting our technology and base together. Along with differentiates us is a strong balance sheet and strong liquidity position. As you know, we have put efforts over the last few years to strengthen our balance sheet. Our receivables have reduced, long-term debt is nil, and cash balance has increased over 310 crores. On the back of our strong balance sheet, we are exploring opportunities for inorganic growth in the tech-enabled services. We believe that digitization will be the mantra in the post-COVID world, and thus we are focusing on leveraging our proprietary technology assets to tap emerging opportunities. Rest assured, we look at those opportunities which meet our internal rate of return threshold. Going forward, we are even more committed to leveraging our technology and operational excellence to ensure enhanced service and customer experience. This is all from my side. I now hand over the call to Amit for updates on financial performance. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me take you through the financial performance for the second quarter and H1 of financial year 21-22. We reported a revenue of 190.5 crores and a healthy increase of 45% YOY and 7% quarter to quarter, mainly due to increase in revenue from e-governance services and banking correspondent businesses, which have started functioning at a pre-COVID level. Visa and Concall businesses have also been opening up from June 2021 onward and seeing month-to-month growth. EBITDA for the quarter stood at 27.6 crore compared to EBITDA of 13.1 crore for the corresponding quarter last year and 18.8 crores for Q1 FY22. This is the highest EBITDA that we have achieved in the last 8 quarters. Higher EBITDA was achieved mainly due to increase in revenue and cost optimization. EBITDA margin for the quarter stood at 14.4%. Company generated PBT of 28.5 crores for Q2 FY22 as compared to 20.8 crores in the previous quarter. Please note the PBT has been the highest since the last 11 quarters. PBT margin stood at 15% in Q2 FY22 compared to 11.4% in Q1 FY22. PAT stood at 27.5 crore in Q2 FY22 compared to 13.9 crore in Q2 FY21. PAT margin in Q2 FY22 improved to 14.4% compared to 10.6% in the same period last year. In terms of H1 FY22, we reported a revenue of 369 crores compared to 183.4 crore, which is significant increase of 101% YOY. EBITDA for H1 FY22 stood at 46.4 crore compared to EBITDA of 16.4 crore in the corresponding period last year, which is 180% growth. EBITDA margin for the period stood at 12.6% versus 8.9% in the corresponding period last year. The company generated a PBT of 49.3 crore for H1 FY22 compared to 18.3 crore, which is a 169% jump compared to previous year. PBT margin stood at 13.4% versus 10% in H1 FY21. PAT stood at 47.8 crore in H1 FY22 compared to 13.1 crore in H1 FY21. PAT margin improved to 13% compared to 7.1% in the same period last year. Company has surpassed its FY21 profit before tax in the first 2 quarters of FY22 itself, testament of the fact that the business is picking up and we are on the right track. We have been successful in constantly improving our ROE and ROCE in implementing the right strategies. We are hopeful that the company should achieve an all-time high profit in the current financial year, and the margins will rebound sharply in the coming quarters on account of better performance from Visa and Consular service businesses. As I conclude, the key takeaway is that BLS is a unique business model, and the performance in this quarter is a clear indication of the fact that not only is the Visa and Consular business improving, but we are also expecting higher contribution in revenue from other businesses. We believe once the travel around the world starts, the incremental revenue from visa business will propel the financial performance in this financials. I would now request the moderator to open the call for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star, then 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star, then 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who wishes to ask questions, please press star, then 1. The first question is from the line of Nayan Gala, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. First of all, congratulations on a healthy set of numbers. I had a few questions. So, sir, if we see at the Q2 and H1 financials, do we believe that we are on track to achieve the numbers which we had in 2019? And going forward, what is the revenue visibility for the next couple of years? If you can just throw some light on that.
Sure. So, see, as you have seen during the first quarters, the 2 quarters, the numbers we have achieved have already surpassed the numbers of the entire year, last in PBT level, of the last year. So definitely, I think we are on track in achieving good numbers. And from day one, whatever we had committed, when the year also started, that we are planning to achieve 2019 level, subject to COVID, stopping and things opening up. So I think we are definitely on track in achieving healthy numbers in the next few quarters. As you know, the business that we have achieved is still with 50% visa numbers, in the current quarter that we have got. So definitely, as we expect, in the next few quarters of, first quarter of next year, COVID should, the numbers should come to pre-COVID level. So definitely margins and, revenue and numbers will improve.
Okay. And sir, in terms of visa processing and everything, do we see more of a, holiday kind of visas that we process, or is it still the business visas that we are processing with things opening up at countries levels?
So definitely, see, with things opening up at a country level, we are seeing both category of demand coming in. We normally do not judge which categories of visas are, because we do not analyze the data, as we are not allowed to. But we are getting more tourist visa for sure. Wherever the countries are opening up, people have, been saving money for the last 2 years. So wherever the countries are allowing to travel and countries are opening up, we are seeing more of the tourism travel happening.
Okay. Sir, if you can just help us to understand the breakup of the revenues in terms of visa consular, Starpin, and Punjab contract for the quarter, and which segment has grown more in that.
If you see YOY, the growth has come in Punjab, that is e-governance, and the Starfin. Visa business is still has not reached the pre-COVID levels, which we expect by Q4 it should start reaching the pre-COVID level, subject to the no third wave is there. But the percentage split is around 80 to 85% of our revenue. Still, even in this quarter, have come from visa counselor business, which consists of visas at 50% capacity and counselor services, which are almost at a pre-COVID level. So definitely, as in the next few quarters, we are expecting the margins also. As you know, in this quarter we have achieved around 15% of EBITDA margins. So I think in the next few quarters, margins should also improve as more and more people are opting for premium services, like mobile biometric and different services. And also we have got an increase in charges for a lot of these value-added services from various governments. So definitely, margins should improve.
Okay. And in terms of, when the visa business comes at the pre-COVID level, what is the revenue expected out of that business, the incremental revenue expected out of that business?
See, whatever we have achieved today in these quarters is the base level what we have achieved with the current business, with visa business at 50% capacity, which is happening around the world. So this is what we plan to achieve. But exact estimation I don't think will be feasible to give right now. But definitely there will be at least 15 to 20% growth.
Okay. And sir, we see the Punjab contract performing well for us. If you can just guide us through what is going on in the UP and Rajasthan contracts, and what can we expect? When can we expect the business to ramp up and start delivering like the ones in Punjab?
Correct. So see, as you know, Punjab model is slightly different from UP and Rajasthan. Punjab, the offices have been given to us by the government, wherein we have effectively, it's a capex light model, asset light model, and we have been generating revenue. We have been in Punjab for the past 5-6 years. In UP and Rajasthan, as you know, it's a recent contract we just entered into. In UP, we have now established 10,000 offices. In Rajasthan, we have established more than how many offices in Rajasthan we have established? So more than 600. 500 we have done. Yeah. So this is the presence of offices that we have. So right now, I don't know if we have started generating a big revenue out of these. So right now, still the revenue out of our e-governance citizen services from UP Rajasthan is still not very high. So as we go along, I think we can give us a little bit more clarity on the revenue estimation from these contracts.
And these are some long-term contracts, or how it is like? Is it renewed every year?
These are long-term contracts. Long-term contracts.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sir, I'll join back on the queue for the further questions. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Participants who would like to ask questions, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Mansi Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I have a couple of questions. And so what is our business model with the e-commerce companies like Flipkart and Amazon? And what are the kind of revenues and margins do we expect in the coming quarters?
Yeah, thank you for this question. So see, as you know, our business model is that we are, tying up with multiple states and opening more branches. So as you know, in UP we have opened 10,000 offices, in Rajasthan we have opened more than 600, and we have also set up banking correspondent model, wherein we were already working for State Bank of India in many states, operating around 1,600 plus branches, and we recently got a new contract from Bank of Baroda plus another contract from State Bank of India. So our model is, to utilize these existing offices that we have, to assist different companies like e-commerce companies to do selling. So, the margins, definitely, I think it will be good margins. We will be getting more than 10% margin on the sale out of our touch points. So as we grow, we will get more demand, in terms of as more traction kind of comes in.
Okay. And sir, if you can tell us the number of transactions we processed in quarter 2 FY22 and whether they have increased or decreased compared to the previous quarter?
So the number of transactions have definitely increased in compared to previous quarter. Pre-COVID we were doing 15 million applications every year. As of March 30 last year, we had done 52 million as a company. So definitely these all new contracts are an addition. So I think UP, Rajasthan, all these will add numbers to our new year.
Okay. And sir, how is the subsidiary Starfin currently performing, and what are the growth plans related to the same, and what is the kind of opportunity you see in this space?
So, as far as Starfin is concerned, we are very positive about this business, which we started about 4 years back, and it has been showing a growth every year or at 20% CAGR. And we are very confident about this business. We are even looking at inorganic growth in this area. So, the business is providing the last mile banking services on behalf of State Bank of India, wherein we have now added Bank of Baroda and Central Bank. We are going to add further CSPs for them in the coming quarters, and we are also looking at inorganic growth in the same. We have one tender from SBI of around 400 new CSPs in BLS International also.
700 new CSPs.
700 new CSPs. So we see a good potential of growth in this business.
Okay. And so lastly, what are the capex plans for FY22 and FY23?
Okay, so on the capex, normal operating capex, which we normally have been incurring over the years, has been around 6 to 7 crores a year. What we are doing now is we are working on a revamping our IT. We still don't know the exact figure of how much we will have to spend on that, but that will be a major capex coming in the current year. As well as we are trying to have a proper infrastructure in few of the key countries, and we may do some investment in that also in the coming year. But normal capex is about 6 to 7 crores a year.
Okay, that was helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Muskan Chaudhary, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Sir, I just wanted to understand, with the cash balance of upwards of 300 crores that we have today, what kind of opportunities can we target for inorganic expansion?
So our strategy is first to look at businesses in our own verticals. As you know, we are in 3 verticals. One is visa and consular business, the second being our e-governance, and the third being banking correspondent business. So we are firstly looking at any interesting acquisition in these 3 areas. And over and above, we are even looking at other businesses which are more related to tech-enabled service providing businesses.
Okay. So there's any active activity going on this front, or we plan to start it in subsequent quarters or years?
Frankly, we have been very active over the last 1 year, and still we are working on it, and hopefully something should get finalized in the coming quarter.
Okay, got it. And sir, in terms of the contracts that we've won recently, what will be the size of the opportunity of these new contracts, and what will be the incremental benefit to our financials? These contracts in visa and consular business specifically.
See, we have won very interesting contracts recently. One being with the Republic of Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs for the passport renewal for the Philippine expatriate population living abroad in those countries. We have started with Italy, Qatar, and Malaysia. So as you know, because post-COVID, a lot of the governments which are not outsourced before are now outsourcing. Market penetration is improving. Previously, the market was only penetrated 40%, now it's 50%. So these new governments are outsourcing. This contract with Philippines will expect to do 100,000 application at $25 to 25 euro service charge, which we have won in different countries. So that is the revenue that we expect. So every contract has different revenue expectation. We have not really taken out the total expectation, but for Italy, visa visiting Russia, we're expecting to do 140,000 application at 38 euro that we have won. Then, so every contract has a different revenue potential that we're expecting.
Okay, got it. So, okay, yeah, that's from my side, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Rajiv Venkatesh, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. I have a couple of questions. One on the Spain government's renewal. Where are we on that front?
As we know, post-COVID, a lot of governments have been extending the contracts. So we are also in the process of talks with the government. And currently we have the contract for till next year. So we are performing that very healthily.
Okay. Another question is on the entire space of visa processing is getting heated up. If you see, I think the Blackstone has acquired VFS Global. So how are we competitively placed to ensure that our business model remains intact and we get the market share? Your views on this, sir?
Correct. So see, as you know, this deal has happened wherein our competitor has been bought for more than 2.5 or $3 billion. So this has definitely given a big limelight on this sector. We have been approached by multiple funds also to maybe to understand what our strategy is going forward. So definitely the market is opening up and market is poised to boom in the next few years. If you see the trends as per different reports across the world, travel sector is right now contributes 10% to the entire global GDP. But this next 2 years will boom like heavily. So that is why a lot of traction and limelight is on this sector. As you know, in the next 2 years, around $1.5 to $2 billion worth of tenders are coming up for renewal by different developed governments, in the outsourced sector, and also a lot of new governments which have not outsourced before are coming up for outsourcing. So definitely in the next 2 years, the potential is huge, which we are poised to tap. And we see also our company growing, we have already surpassed the last year numbers in the first 2 quarters in terms of PBT. So I feel that is a good achievement with the current visa numbers. So as and visa numbers grow, definitely we will get increase in revenue, and with the cash we have in books, at acquisitions that we are looking at, I think the next 2 years, certain new contracts which we are aggressively targeting, if we manage to get in our kitty, the numbers should improve at an aggressive level.
Okay, and I think last quarter you had mentioned we were very close to doing M&A with the company, and the valuations didn't provide us much comfort. Any paint on that particular thing on the M&A side?
See, we are, as I said, we are for the last 1 year have been aggressively looking at M&A side, and till today also we are working on couple of transactions, and let's see when they get crystallized. So we are very hopeful in this financial year we should be able to close 1 or 2 acquisitions.
Okay, thanks sir, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Mansi Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for the opportunity again. Sir, I have 2 questions more. Sir, can you walk us through the tie-up with ICCR, and what are the prospects in terms of revenue from this segment? And would the revenue be on the basis of a fixed amount or on a per person basis?
So see, as this is a new contract that we won with the ICCR. This is normally to do with facilitating the visitors coming on behalf of the government to India, or the delegations from ICCR or from the Indian government going abroad. So we get a revenue per application and per applicant, wherein we are assisting them with arrivals within India and with their facilitating of visa processing. So this is the first time this contract has been given to us. We do not have a very clear expectation in terms of total revenue that we expect, but we have won this contract at different service charges for different services. So this is where we stand.
Okay. And sir, about the new business of issuing digital health certificates, when will that income start reflecting in the book? And on the broader basis, when the business starts growing, what are the level of revenues and margins we can expect from them? And yeah, that's it.
So see, digital health certificate that we had won we are tied up with a company called Knowledge Catalyst in Singapore, which is to facilitate travelers to and fro from Singapore. As you know, Singapore has recently started opening up. So when the numbers start coming in, we tied up a while back, but numbers were not there since travel was not happening in Singapore. So when the travel numbers start coming in, we'll definitely make some good revenue on that. And our main plan is to use that and spread that globally, digital health certificate business. So right now, this is very new. This is for the first time a lot of things we are doing. That is the reason that we do not know exact numbers, how much we will expect.
More like a pilot project which we have taken up.
Okay. That's it. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nayan Gala, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the follow-up. Sir, I have a few more questions. In terms of, we see that we are among the top 3, players in the visa processing industry. So what is that we do different, and how do we compete while winning a contract in the global visa processing?
So see, as you know, we are the only Indian company globally in this business. We started in the year 2005. It took us more than 15, 16 years to stand where we are today. This is a highly competitive business, and highly, getting in the business is very difficult. So the companies that we are there already, are qualified for the tenders. It took us 15 years to get qualified. So first of all, to get pre-qualified, you need to have performed these level of services with these many governments for a lot of years. So this is what governments look at awarding you a tender with. Also, they see your credentials, your past performances, the SLAs that you've adhered to. If you're following all the laws, the GDPR laws or different laws of each country, what is your customer experience, or what is the biometric error rate, and what is the technology that you offer. We being an Indian company, definitely we have this advantage of having a good amount of Indian talents to offer good technology services. So definitely the platform and the software that we provide to the government is quite flexible, quite stringent in terms of security, SLAs, and quite advanced. So this is what also gives us an advantage in terms of bidding for tenders. And as you know now, the contracts that we are winning are at good prices. So recently the contract for the Italian government in Russia we won, we are working at 38 euros. Whereas the contract with the Philippine government, we are working in Italy at 35 euros. So definitely we are being more advantaged to technical knowledge within the companies or technology that we are offering. That is leading to more, growth of the company and winning more tenders from the competitors.
Okay, got it, sir. Sir, a few on the financial side. So if you can just clarify in terms of what kind of the other income that we are generating. So what is the nature of that other income, and going forward, will it be constant or how it is?
So other income is mainly on account of interest which we are earning on our fixed deposits in India and outside, on the funds which are lying with us. And now we don't have. Earlier last year we had a small amount of government grants which we got due to COVID, which was part of the other income. Otherwise there's no other income related to and other incomes.
Okay. And sir, if I'm correct, we based on our business model, we collect upfront fees from the end user, and majority of the income which is generated is upfront, right? So and we are in the balance sheet we are showing receivables of 96 crores. So if you can just help us understand how this matrix works out for us, the 96 crore, what is the reason for that amount being reflected on the balance sheet?
Sure. So basically this receivable of 96 crore is mainly on account of two accounts. One is on account of Punjab receivables, which are about 67.75 crores outstanding, which we expect that it should come in the current financial year. This was related to the old contract which got was changed, and this billing was the last payment billing which we have done to them. And the balance is where internationally, wherever we have our branches or we have a joint with a partner, we do a billing to them, and that is normally being done after a month, and the payment comes within 30 days after that. So that's why it comes in the book as a receivables. But basically we control those partners and the accounts from where the payment comes to us.
So in the max situation, it is 30 days. The receivables are 30 days.
That's right. 30 or 60 days, you can say, depending on from where the payments are coming in.
Yeah. So apart from this, and if we see, as you said, the Punjab, the contract which we had, and we had some 67 crore receivable out of that. So this, by end of this year, it will come in. So the full year FY22 receivables will be quite lower.
It should be. It should be.
Yeah. Okay. And sir, in terms of the expenses, during the COVID, of course, we would have, written stopped certain kind of expenses. So are those expenses which we had, stopped incurring coming back in the books?
So as and when the operations are starting in a particular country, the expenses are coming back. But what we have done is during the COVID, we have rationalized the expenses, and we hope that with the same revenue or more than revenue, our expenses will not go higher than what we were paying earlier. So we have streamlined the expenses to a major extent.
Yeah, and things when things become stable, what is the revenue EBITDA margins we are expecting to be sustainable?
See, we have been, it should go up by at least 200 to 300 basis points compared to what we were doing earlier, mainly because of the rationalization of the cost, which we have done during the COVID period.
Okay, got it. All right. So in the range of, you can say, around 16%?
Earlier we were around 11.5%, 12%, so we should be around 15%.
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who would like to ask questions, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Avinash Verma from an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations on a good set of numbers. I just wanted to understand the perspective of how this Blackstone deal happened with VFS Global. So, how does that happen at time sales, or how means in respect of the said deal which happened, where is our company? What should be the valuation of BLS International, and where are we currently? If you can give some color to it.
See, obviously we have no idea, we don't, from the industry knowledge or from the press releases, whatever we hear, we can tell you definitely. What we know was that the competition was highly debted. It had a big debt on the books. That was
correct,
what
exactly,
was there in the
correct.
different ratings, whereas BLS is a zero debt company. So maybe, now as, COVID subsides, a lot of traction is coming to the sector and people are seeing big growth happening. As I told you, a lot of funds are also trying to reach out to us to understand our strategy for growth and whether, what our objective is. So I cannot exactly comment, on what the deal was because, I'm not privy to that information. But what I know is from the industry point of view, we are one of the only companies in the industry which is, zero debt, and we have cash on the books. So definitely our valuation and our market, potential should improve in the next few years. Amit, do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, frankly speaking, we don't have any details of what valuation and how they have worked it out. But one thing is there that this has created a buzz in the market for visa processing companies. And let's see how the market takes it and value the businesses going forward. But they all will depend on how fast the travel industry grows or come back to the pre-COVID levels. So that will be very important.
The same renewal thing, is that coming up soon?
I think we answered that question, that we have it for the next year. We are in talks with the government for extension.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Sudesh Mohanta, a shareholder. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations for a wonderful set of numbers. So I just want some more color on, a model, a business model. So let's say when we talk about a visa processing business, essentially the tasks that we perform are document verification, identity verification, document processing, which I think in one of our earlier presentations we termed them as non-judgmental tasks. So is that pretty much how this, has the color remained the same over the years, or you think the tasks have become more complex and also whether it pretty much remains the same in your other lines of businesses? Are these essentially non-judgmental tasks? And second, a related question is, do we see ourselves, using technologies like blockchain as we grow further, and will that be a central part of our tech-enabled services?
Correct. Thank you so much for this question. So definitely, see, as we started the company, decisions, what we essentially do is collecting of information, processing them, taking care of all the security parameters, as in collecting the biometric, from the applicants, using our softwares, using our technology, transmitting that data, doing a sanity check on that data in terms of, whether data has been inserted correctly, the quality of the data, and whether to grant the visa or not is the sole judgment of the embassy. We do not want to get into that decision, whether deciding on behalf of the embassy to a particular individual, because that is, done with a different arrangement with the governments have access to their internal databases, with the criminal security check or whatever measures they undertake. So definitely this is something which we are not involved in currently. And even if you talk about citizen services, our model is essentially the same. We do the 99% non-judgmental task. Whether to grant a birth certificate or an arms license depends on the particular government officer or the government department, which is something which we are not privy to. We work under their guidelines. Going forward, definitely a lot more things have been outsourced to us. There were a lot of things which were not outsourced, wherein as part of the process, a lot of things have started to get outsourced, but core task of judgmental decisions are still with the embassy. Going forward, definitely we think about using a lot of technologies like blockchain or different technologies in terms of processing of applications. We do have a lot of technology in-house, which is related to blockchain or other new instruments or AI, but we have developed the solution, we in certain aspects like chatbots and all, they have been approved by the government. We have started using them, but a lot of it depends on the approval from the government. So we are constantly, giving presentations to the government about the new technologies in the market and new technologies that we have developed. But it is up to the government to approve them to be used in the process of visas. So this is where we stand.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Shikhar Agarwal for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for your participation in our Q2 FY22 earnings call and continued support. I wish you and your family a happy and safe Diwali and a prosperous New Year. In case of any further queries, you may get in touch with Pareto Capital or feel free to get in touch with us. We look forward to interacting with you next quarter. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of BLS International Services Limited, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.